Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to try to explain my understanding of the major scale and how we can use the CAGED system to learn major scale theory and apply it to the guitar fretboard. So let's start by explaining just what a scale is. A scale is nothing more really than a collection of notes that revolve around and point to one really important note called the tonic. And the scale is named after that tonic. For example, the A major scale has the note A as its tonic. Now the difference between a tonic and a root note is that the tonic note is a reference note of a scale and the root note is the reference note of a chord. The major scale is so important it's going to be the foundation for all of your knowledge, your theoretical knowledge on the guitar. So if you can understand the theory behind the major scale, that's going to be your jumping off point to understand more difficult theory and be able to apply it to the guitar. Every major scale that you're going to play, whether it be C sharp, B flat, D, A, G, is going to be built on the formula whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Now what does that mean? Well, let's look at the A major scale on the fretboard here. I have A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A. Now the difference between, or the space between of two frets on the fretboard is called a whole step. So you've got two whole steps here, a half step, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. This is the formula of the major scale. This happens to be the A major scale. Now, every scale contains some form of the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And these can be sharp or these can be flat. Now this particular scale has C sharp, F sharp, and G sharp. It has three sharps. When you raise a note, for example, from C up a fret, that's called a C sharp. But you can also lower it or flatten it. So if I have D and I lower that note, it's going to be a D flat. And C sharp and D flat are the same note. That's called enharmonic notes. Now, because every scale has to have one of each letter, I can't have A, B, D flat, D. That's why I say C sharp. Okay? Now all of these notes point to the tonic, as I've stated before. That means if you're ascending, going from D, E, F sharp, G sharp, you're not going to feel finished until you hit that A. Same thing applies to descending. If I play E, D, C sharp, B, you're going to hear an audible pull that makes you want to play that A note. Now the problem starts arising on the guitar when you can play the same note in so many different places on the fretboard, because basically it's a matrix of notes. For example, the A you can play in 13 different places on a 24 fret guitar, and that spans 4 octaves. For example, this is your lowest note, A, and A. That's 4 octaves. Now, that's a lot of notes just by itself, but once you add all of the notes of the major scale, then this is what you get. And that's hard to learn without having some sort of system. And what people have come up with is called the CAGED system. Now, everybody, when they start first learning guitar, learns the basic chords C, A, G, E, D up at the top of the fretboard, or at the bottom of the fretboard here. Open chords. So let's just take a look at the D shape. All right, don't worry about what the notes are in a D chord. Just look at that shape. You can take these 3 notes and move them up and down the fretboard. So let's do that. Let's move it up to the 12th position. You're not playing a D chord anymore. Right now you're playing a C chord, because this is C, this is E, and this is G. That's a C triad. You can do the same thing with the E shape. Let's move that up to the 9th position. You've got C, right? You've got E, and you've got G. That's the same chord in a different position and a different shape. And all you're doing is taking those original open chords that you learned when you first started playing guitar and moving them down the fretboard. G shape, shape 3, same thing. A shape, move that down 3 frets, and you've got a C chord in a different position at the 3rd position. And now you're open C. So this is what people are talking about when they talk about CAGED. Same chord, different shapes, different positions on the fretboard. And this is a great way to learn how to play chords up and down the fretboard. The problem is most people stop there, but we're not going to. What we're going to do is take that formula whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, and start building a major scale around each of these shapes. So you're going to have one major scale, but 5 different shapes. So let's start with C. This is your C chord. Let's play, instead of playing on one string, let's play across the strings. This is what you're going to get. From here to here is a whole step, from C to D. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, and so on. And this is the C shape, or shape 1 major scale, C major scale. Now let's move to the A shape, or shape 2. These are your 2 tonics, and the A shape, or shape 2. Let's go whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You can do the same thing with the G shape. Now this spans 2 whole octaves, from C to C, from C to C. You can do the same thing with the E shape and with the D shape. So when it's all said and done, you've learned 5 different shapes for the same scale. And this is what they look like all together. C shape, A, G, E, D, the CAGED system of playing guitar, but not just for chords, for major scales also. And this is great to learn these for really moving all up and down the fretboard, and actually just learning the notes of the fretboard. So this is what you have. I hope this has explained a little bit what CAGED is, and can serve as a starting point for you to explore this a little bit more. Just remember that the tonic is the important note, and when you start exploring these shapes, try to find different ways to get from tonic to tonic. From here, you can go from here to here and go up. You can go C, D, E, F. I'm sorry, that's not a C there, but you get the point. From shape to shape, position to position, learn the 5 shapes first, and then start practicing going in between each and every one of them. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed it.